Excellencies, distinguished participants, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. I want to welcome everyone to this workshop to discuss an issue that is important both from a gender perspective and from the perspective of migration. We are witnessing an unprecedented era of migration with over 1 billion individuals on the move globally. Of this 1 billion, it includes 281 million international migrants and 750 million domestic migrants, according to data from the United Nations. Of utmost concern is the increasing number of females from Africa that are involved in international migration, especially those migrating for domestic work. Equally concerning is the fact that fewer than 10 African countries have ratified the ILO Convention 189 on domestic work, which sets labor standards for domestic workers. Why is all this concerning? For now, I will refrain from gender inequities that women face regularly on the continent. When you are a woman and a migrant, one at that, vulnerabilities just get compounded. Returning women migrants face more reintegration problems with social acceptance, have more health problems, and are more likely to face backlash from the communities. These migrant women often find themselves in low-paying, informal, and precarious roles. This is due to a lack of sufficient policy and legislative protections, rendering women vulnerable to exploitation, abuse, and other human rights violations. We need to address these vulnerabilities. And this is not only because they are vital for the well-being of the migrants. They also impact the socio-economic development of the migrants, the socio-economic development of their home communities upon their return. Policies that are responsive to the needs of returning migrants are therefore critical to expand their ability to access productive resources and make strategic life choices. We also know very well that economic empowerment is critical to lessen the vulnerability of women and girls to migration and displacement-related exploitation, abuse, and other human rights violations. To accomplish this, we need economic policies that can create decent employment, as well as extend labor rights and social protection to those in informal employment, such as domestic workers and home-based workers. We also know too well the negative connotation attached to the word migrant. Hence, and in this context, ECA, in our joint project with the African Union Commission, are trying to shape a positive narrative and remove barriers to mobility. In this vein, several initiatives have already been designed and implemented with the support of relevant partners, and these should be expanded. One such initiative is to address the challenges faced by returning migrant women, particularly domestic workers from from Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda, because this project will cover these 3 East African countries, to the Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC. This project underscores the urgent need to rethink the discourse surrounding migration in Africa. Later on during the day, colleagues will discuss in more detail the elements of the project, but this is just a high-level summary of what ECA and AUC are working on. In light of this background, it is my pleasure to welcome you all today to the validation of findings of the assessment of the economic situation of returning migrant women in Kenya. Over the next 3 days, the insights and findings will be validated. During the discussions, you will notice that these findings have the potential to inform targeted interventions, fostering economic empowerment and reintegration strategies for returning migrant women in Kenya. Let me briefly tell you the threefold purpose of this workshop. The first purpose is to validate the country assessment report on the economic situation of returning migrant women in Kenya. Here, we want to ensure that our findings reflect the realities on the ground, and thus why we have this validation with the national stakeholders. The second purpose is to gather invaluable insights from all stakeholders represented here today to enhance women's economic empowerment of migrant women in Kenya. And the third purpose is to share best practices and emerging trends to guide our collective efforts. As we embark on this important discourse, let us reflect very carefully on a few issues. The status quo is not an option. More of the same will not do for women and girls, especially those returning from migration. We need to do more. Yes, more coordinated action has the potential to trigger lasting transformations in structures and institutions that prevent women from enjoying their rights. Hence, our engagement here is not merely about validating the findings of the report. It is also about crafting lasting solutions to empower these women, enrich their lives, and substantiate their contribution to their families and communities. It is important that the messages from the engagement infiltrate and inform policies. Each one of us can play a critical role as we work towards a comprehensive plan of action for returning migrant women. Your diverse expertise, perspectives, and experiences are invaluable, therefore. Our collective efforts here will not only lay the groundwork for national initiatives in Kenya, but will also contribute to a broader continental strategy in preparation for the upcoming 4th Specialized Technical Committee on Migration, Refugees, and Internally Displaced Persons. I urge all of you to engage meaningfully and share diverse perspectives that will deepen the understanding and enrich our findings and ultimately lead to more effective solutions. Let me conclude by pledging ECA's continued support to member states, including Kenya, in accompanying them on their journey to identify persistent bottlenecks to achieving gender equality and crafting policies to address them. Thank you for your kind attention. This was the opening remark on behalf of ECA. Thank you.